What's going on, guys? We are back with another RNG recruit interview. This time we have got with us a very high upside 2026 quarterback who just recently got an offer from no other than sitting right behind me, of course, this way here. The U. Yes, they recognize the talent already in this 2026 young, talented man's arm. And I'm very, very happy to bring him. He's actually not from the state of Florida. They went outside the state of Florida for this offer. Very, very happy to bring him on all the way up from Minnesota.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Nick Kinsey, class 2026 quarterback, Stillwater area high school up in Minnesota. Just on the border of Minnesota, Wisconsin. 6A, highest level in Minnesota, and just having fun. That was a cool thing that they did. Been down there a few times, got to know their coaches a lot. I love it down there. It's a cool place, cool environment.
So you've been out a couple times, huh?
Yeah, I went camp, visit, and like the barbecue, and so that was. All three of those times were great experiences. I've got to know the coaches, very well. And, I love them. I love their offense. I love the weather. I love the facilities. And just the hype around the U, just growing up, watching documentaries about the U. My pops telling me all about them, about what they used to do, and now they're coming back. And it's just been fun to be a part of it.
Are you familiar with one of the current players that we have on the team who is from Minnesota right now?
I think I remember somebody saying something about tight end, maybe end, was it? Yeah.
Jackson Carver. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember somebody saying something about that, and I hadn't heard of him, but they said he's a great guy.
Yeah, yes. 6'7" tight end, super athletic, man. He was one of those guys who was out there in Minnesota, when he was getting his offer, talking about it in shorts while it was blowing sideways, half snow, and you know how it is in Minnesota.
Yeah. It's different. It's different up here, playing football in November, October even. It gets cold and snow. Playing football in the snow, I mean that's fun. Playing football in the snow is fun. Yeah. You don't see that down south very much, so it's different up here, but 6'7" tight end, not going to pass up on that.
Well, bro, I live in Alaska, so I know all about it. Man. Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Alaska,
how are you a Canes fan then? How are you a Canes fan?
Man, my older brother, he's 8 years older than me. He grew up in the era of the swag, where they were just, nonstop. I'm 40 years old. He's 48. He grew up in that just prime era. I fortunately got to see part of it myself too. But, man, he just made sure that his little brother was going to be a Canes fan. I was born and raised in Seattle. And it was hard to find Canes gear back in the day, for sure, in the 80s in the city of Seattle. But even in my first grade picture, man, I'm head to toe in Canes gear. So, it's just been my whole life, man.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, no. The Pacific Northwest, though, that place is crazy up there. It's so beautiful.
It's gorgeous up here, man. It's why I haven't left the region. I love it up here, man.
Yeah, I've been up there. I went to Oregon, and I got to see Eugene. I got to see Portland. Watch some football up there, and the West Coast is great. East Coast obviously is amazing too, but I love both. Yeah.
It's kind of a, Northwest can be a little bit familiar to what you're used with as well. Coming from, got a lot of trees around, got a lot of water around, all that kind of stuff,
Yeah, Pacific Northwest, there's a lot of trees, a lot of rain, but not as much snow, really. Snow is different.
Yeah, you guys get hit with that a lot harder, and those temp drops.
Yeah, I'd much rather play in snow though, honestly, because snow, like it doesn't get the balls wet like rain.
Yeah.
Ball's not an easy throw.
I agree completely. I love playing football in the snow. Loved it. So, what is your current height and weight right now?
I'm 6'3", 195 pounds. Just during the season too. So I'm looking probably gonna grow another inch and a half.
Yeah.
Planning to be 220 225 pounds by the end of high school. Just, trying to get more explosive too, trying to get bigger, stronger, faster, all that with my trainers and whatnot at ETS.
Right on, man. So, you'll be in 2026. You've got 3 offers currently, yeah?
Yes, sir.
It's UConn, Miami, and Ole Miss.
Yes, sir.
I'm curious, that Miami offer, man. How did you find out about it, and was it a surprise?
It was a surprise. I went after the second time. I had a good camp, but not a great camp, and but they loved me. They saw me throw. They saw the way I could spin it. They liked what they saw, and then I went down to that barbecue, and it was like a little little workout part of it, and then they saw me throw with their 3 of their guys, the 2025 commit, and then their 2024 commit, the tall guy, and then
Judd Anderson?
their walk. Yeah, Judd. Yeah.
Yeah.
I threw with Judd and who's the 2025 again? Luke, I think.
Oh yeah, Luke Nickel.
Yeah. I threw with him, and then the walk on that's going to you. But I threw with all of them, and I competed. I showed out great. I competed, and that's all I can really ask for. Competing, competitiveness just in me, just flowing. Just having fun.
It's great you get a chance to go up against those kind of arms that are already being seen as Division I arms, so they get to really calibrate and see what their talent is and see your talent and see where it matches up. And honestly, that's a big deal for a guy like you, who I know has you can sling it. I saw that on your film, man. You can sling it, no doubt about it.
Thank you. Yeah, I just thought it was a great opportunity for me to show myself. I came into it, just a little nervous, but more or less just excited to show the coaches I can sling it with their guys, with their best, with who they think can lead their program to to national titles and whatnot. And so I thought it was a fun time, just work and throwing to some of their best receivers too. I mean, that was crazy. Throwing to their guys, that was fun.
Before this season started, what was the main focus for you in working on the technical aspect of your game? Where did you want to take your game to a kind of higher level?
I wanted to be able to play faster this year. In the head with my feet, with my footwork. Knowing where to go with the ball before the snap. 70% of the time is a feeling that is great. Just being able to connect your head and your feet together and making that throw, over a backer in between a corner and a safety and that cover 2 hole. I love that. I've really tried to work on my mental aspect of the game, and as well as my mental as just staying level, staying cool. Just being the guy when you need to step up, you can step up for your team and leading a good drive, leading a game-winning drive.
Just for the fans, so they get an idea, what kind of quarterback do you consider yourself? Do you consider yourself to be a pocket quarterback, dual threat, or kind of a mix of both?
I definitely say I'm more of a pocket guy, but my comparison to an NFL guy would be Joe Burrow. When he needs to make a play, he makes that play. And so late in the game, I'm gonna go make a play, and I'm gonna leave it all out there. So I'd say I'm a pocket guy, but I can make a play when I need to.
Gotcha. Curious, what gets you most excited on game day? It could be before the game, listening to music, getting in the zone, something that happens in the game. What gets you pumped up the most?
Some of the chants the student sections to get, I like overrated. I like fake offers. I like all those. That's fun. But what gets me the most excited is before game day, just thinking about the people that are going to be there for me, watching me on TV, the people, my family who's watching me on TV, my family, friends, and thinking about a whole school and town and really a city behind me as a quarterback, because quarterback is one of the most important positions on the field. Thinking about a whole town, team, just culture behind me I think that's a lot of pressure, but I think it's also fun showing up to those games and having a lot of people at those games and them believing in me and trusting me to lead them to victory.
You guys have a lot of fans show up at your games?
I would say for a Minnesota team, we have a lot of people showing up to our games. I mean,
That's great.
I feel like on average, about 3,000 or 4,000 show up, and
That's
then
great.
this week's gonna be crazy for homecoming. It's gonna
Yeah.
Last year we set an attendance record at like 6,000 or 7,000. So who knows
Wow.
this year? But we plan to have a big crowd and have some fun out there on the field.
I love hearing that, man. I love hearing the community supporting the team, dude. I love hearing that.
Yeah, I mean, just guys coming to the game for numerous years, just fans saying they've gone to these games for 30, 40 years and I mean, roll ponies. I mean, that's what they say. That's what they do. Tailgates before the games for like the parents and the students. They have a lot of love for the football program. I mean, I feel like my school really rallies behind football.
Sounds like there's a lot of pride there, man. A whole lot of pride. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I have a lot of pride for this school too. I love it here. This has been a great thing for me, and I'm just really happy with where I'm at right now.
Man, I'm happy for you. You can see it on your face. You can see it in your expressions. I'm happy for you, bro. Honestly.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. So, in your mind, as you go along with this process of being a quarterback and maturing, what traits is it going to take to become an elite quarterback, mentally and physically? What are those traits that you're going to need to develop along the way as you go?
Mentally, I just got to keep thinking of myself as a leader and staying cool throughout the game no matter what happens. Some weird stuff happens in the game and I get a chance to go make a play and win the game. I got to be able to come back after something weird happens and make that play and make that drive and have that mentality of you're that guy and you got to go lead your team. And then physically, I think I got to work on. I still have a lot to work on with footwork, mechanics. That is arm mechanics, footwork always, and my mental game. Knowing coverages and whatnot, and where to throw the ball and when on time. But I think I can also be working on my pocket movements always. Throwing off platform, throwing just normal on rhythm footballs. Just getting the ball out on time, whether that's on schedule or off schedule.
Yeah. Gotcha, man. I got you. So if you had to describe your game to somebody who's never seen your film before, how would you describe your game to them?
I would describe my game as, a bigger kid, likes to figure out a way to win and likes to sling the ball all over the field. I love throwing the football and I love giving my receivers a chance because I have the best receiving core in the state and I have no doubt about it. I love my receivers and I have the utmost faith in my receivers.
I love hearing that. That how special it is when there's a true connection between a quarterback and his wide receivers. How special it can get.
Exactly. It's huge.
So, in your opinion, what makes Minnesota high school football so special?
A lot of people don't see Minnesota high school football as a powerhouse per se. Coaches don't really, if they're looking for somebody, they usually look in the Alabama, Georgia, Texas, Florida, Cali area. But I think Minnesota football is special because there is so much environment around it, honestly. Like there's a lot of love for football, and I think it's on the rise as a football state. I think there's gonna be a lot more kids coming out of Minnesota that are gonna be higher caliber players, and I feel like there's a different level of grit or hardworkingness. Like we work hard up here. Like a lot of players work hard up here, and there's a lot of grit just all over the field, just showing that.
Love that answer, man. You guys are kind of a product of your environment up there, man. You're battling against the elements out there.
Yeah, you're fighting weather, you're fighting wind, you're fighting snow, you're fighting rain, you're fighting your own thoughts, the other team, what they're gonna do that week, if they're gonna play man or if they're gonna play whatever. You gotta just keep going, keep planning, keep game planning with your guys, with your coaches.
It sounds like each week for you guys is a battle in multiple ways,
Yeah, it is. We have to first thing we do after film on Saturday mornings after we win those games is we look at other teams' film for 20-25 minutes, see what they're gonna do, and then leave it off at that. But we're assigned to watch some film, take some notes on our opponents over the weekend when we have those Saturday and Sunday days off. We're assigned to take some notes and whatnot on their film, and then come to Monday prepared for what we see and start game planning any new installs, any new protections, etc. of what we like that week against that certain team.
Gotcha, man. So even a favorite player, or if you got favorite players, college, NFL, doesn't really matter. Any guys you like to look up to steal a little bit of their game to add to your game.
I've always loved watching Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow in the NFL. I love watching Patrick Mahomes off platform throws. I might not be as fast or as athletic as him, and not many people will be, but I love watching his off platform throws and the throws he can make that make him special. And I love watching Josh Allen because big guy, can run and throws the hell out of the ball. He can throw it any place he wants on that field. And Joe Burrow, I look up to him because I think my game is modeled after him. I make a play when he needs to make a play and throws the ball on time and has some fun with it. I love having fun with the game.
I like that comparison. I like it a lot. So speaking of quarterbacks, the three guys you look up to, one of the things that all three of them have that's a quality is leadership. Yeah. What kind of leader are you as a quarterback? Are you more vocal? Are you, more by actions? Or are you a little mix of both?
I would say I'm both. I like picking people up the most. Like after I've had that feeling before, when you're after a bad play, you need somebody to be there to pick you up, pick your head up, get on to the next play. Because in football, it's play after play after play. Like if you have one bad play, you're going to come back to the next play. If you have one bad game to end a play, or one bad play to end a game, my bad. You got to come back the next game, first play, and be ready to ball. And so I think I'm a vocal leader too, because I had to talk to those guys on that sideline of what I see, what we see, what I think, talking to my OC about what is going to work right now and what I see on that field, because you can't really see what you feel on the field, and then actions, obviously stepping up in those big spots and making those drives when we're down, coming back. Our 3 wins are all comeback wins in the second half, and it's been a fun ride so far, but it's not over.
Shows you guys got some resilience, though. You guys are willing to go all 4 quarters then.
Yeah, I mean, at our school, it's a lot of like us over me. Like it's always going to be about the team before yourself at
awesome.
Stillwater.
That's awesome.
That's what the coaches preach on. It's getting involved with the team and not as much fundraisers and playing bingo with the senior living home, bagging at the grocery stores, all those things we do as a team. Tackle cancer. I mean, I got the tackle cancer bracelet on right now. I mean, I love it. It's just a lot of team stuff here, and it's a great culture around the Ponies football team.
Man, I love to hear that you guys are that involved in the community. Honestly, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and they're involved in us. So, we can't really repay that.
Everybody's kind of working together to make something good out of it, right?
Exactly.
So speaking of that, this kind of bleeds right into the next part of the interview I have here for you. During this part of the interview, what I like to do is give recruits a chance to show some love to people who have actually helped them out along the way. Family, coaches, trainers, anybody who's helped you on or off the field, you want to show some love to. Go ahead and show them some love.
I just want to first start with my mom, my dad, and the rest of my family. I wouldn't ever be in this spot without them. They mean a lot to me, and they both work very hard to help me get to where I want to be and get to my dreams. And next, I want to thank my coaches. So first, all my Stillwater coaches, the ones that have welcomed me into the program. They've showed me what I need to do. And, they've been nothing but helpful and kind and just the best thing for me. And then I want to thank my trainers too, at, QB football training and QB University. They both have been with me for a long time. And, I work on a lot of stuff with them, whether that's mental, physical, touch-up stuff, everything. And, some of my recovery stuff is I have some good recovery stuff with them. And I want to thank my receivers, Tanner Schmidt, Joe Hoheisel, Brett Hildy, and Ephraim Lands. They've been, Tanner and Joe have been with me through it since day one. I cannot thank them enough for the leadership they've shown on and off the field with me, welcoming me into the program, being there for me when I needed it, whether that's on the football field, off the football field. So I love both of them, and I couldn't repay them. And also, and my strength guys, ETS, they do a lot at our school. Our weight room's pretty sick. It like overlooks the football field, so that's it's pretty cool. And so, we do lifts during the week and whatnot, and like recovery lifts, and going to the facility outside of the lifts at the high school. It's a big part. And especially my O-line, I wouldn't be alive without them. So big guys.
That's some important big boys to thank right there.
Yeah, that's almost one of the most important things.
You know it as a quarterback. it. So go ahead and plug your social media accounts. Let fans know where they can find you on social media.
It's Nick.Kinsey2 on Instagram and Nick Kinsey 2026 on Twitter. It's easy to find. It's been fun though. I mean, I'm just excited to see where this goes. Still young, still have a lot to work on, still a lot to improve, and I'm just excited.
Dude, you at 2026 and already getting the attention you're getting, you should be excited, and you should, have that drive and want to be better. The fact you're getting that attention shows you got that kind of skill, bro. They don't make those kind of offers for no reason. They don't make them for no reason. So keep that hard work up. You're doing a great job, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I got one last question for you, and I'll let you go for the night. And it's a question that I ask everybody that's ever came onto this show. It's the last question on every single show that I do. Why do you love the game of football, Nick? Where do you get that passion to go out there and compete at the highest level on a weekly basis?
It's funny. I just got asked this question today as I was doing conditioning because I threw an interception last game. I was doing conditioning today, and my coach said, "Why do you love it?" I say, "Coach, it's one of the only things I've ever had in my life that's been consistent with me through my life. When I needed something to fall back on, it was football. When I need to get my mind off something, it's football. When it's all my brain thinks about when it's that go time. And I love the feeling of scoring a touchdown with my best buddies, with my teammates, with my brothers. I love that feeling, and I love the feeling of success. I love the feeling after a hard practice, after a good practice. I love the feeling of succeeding in the game of football because it's one of the hardest sports in the world, but it's one of the best sports in the world because I truly do love it with my heart.
Man, I love that answer, Nick. I love that answer. I can tell that you truly love the game of football. Well, man, just thank you for taking the time tonight to jump on here and let fans get more familiar with you. You being 2026, I definitely want to have you back on in the future so we can update fans about your recruitment, your development, all that kind of good stuff, Definitely want to have you back on the show in the future. And Nick, man, I wish nothing but the best for you and your team going forward this season.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You have yourself a great night. And thank you again for joining us for this interview. I appreciate it a lot.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. All right, guys, that was a 2026 quarterback to keep your eyes on, Nick Kinsey. He's out of Minnesota. He's getting noticed by the Miami staff up in Minnesota. That tells you something. That means that arm talent has made its way all the way down to South Beach, and they've heard about it. UConn getting involved and Ole Miss as well. So Ole Miss and Miami getting involved tells you right there. And those are two schools that know how to run an offense, or showing they know how to run an offense anyways currently. Tells you they see that upside in him. They see that upside, and things are just starting for Nick Kinsey. He's just getting his recruitment started, guys, so be on the lookout for him. And once again, thank you guys for joining us for another RNG Recruit interview. I will catch you guys soon. Have a great night.